Hey, what's up? You're listening to the All In Networker podcast. My name's Dan, and I am back. And I am going to tell you about why I missed the last, 3-4 weeks of podcast. I was right in the middle of All In for 90, and then I disappeared. And for that, I am sorry, and for that, you are owed an explanation, but it's a good story. I knocked out some serious goals. I went through all kinds of crap, and here we are. We're back at it, so back recording. All right, let's get to it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Dan McCabe, All In Networker Podcast, your host. All right, well, at this point, I know for a period of time, my producer and I were like, we just got to go back and we got to record the episodes, make sure that we stay consistent with the days that we were on. And I was doing things like every day, and I did some amazing stuff over the last few weeks. I went through some of my own personal crap, and I just fell off the wagon with recording and doing some of the things that I know that I committed to. So some of that had to do with, if you were listening to the earlier episodes, that there was a big transition between the company that I held a spot in that went bankrupt, that was moving over to a new company, and that part was just kind of difficult, and I didn't know what exactly I was doing, and then a new opportunity got presented to me, and I got a really good offer from another network marketing company to join them and get some pre-established momentum, I guess you could call it, from them. And I was interested, and I was kind of looking and thinking. In the meantime, I was just selling Networker Pro like crazy. And I'm like, you know what? Until all this other stuff figures itself out, I'm just going to do Networker Pro. And I'm going to consistently sell the software. I was driving leads like crazy on LinkedIn, selling them down payments, monthly payments, all good stuff, still things that I am doing. Now we're driving leads for some of those clients, and that part's going pretty well, and I'm happy with that. But with all the other stuff that was going on, I was just going in too many directions, and the whole time I was trying to focus, the whole time I was trying to stay away from the shiny objects, and I knew everything that we were building. I know the stuff that we're doing with Networker Pro, with LinkedIn, with driving leads, with helping people, not just with online building systems, funnel systems, but we're also doing lead generation, things like that. That part's super cool. And that part is not something I should be spending my day-to-day doing every single day. And so I've been working really, really hard on getting that part completely automated. And so far, it's going okay. Could be going a little bit better. We definitely brought on a bunch of clients really, really fast. And then as we brought in those clients, I knew that I was going to be stretching all of our systems and our processes during that period of time, and that it was going to hurt a little bit and it was going to be a pain in the butt. And I was okay with that. I knew that was coming, and definitely did that. Definitely did that. But you know what? For the most part, it's all working out, and now that we're starting, it seems like everything's kind of calming down. We can probably stick in another load of people, stretch them again, and kind of just rinse, repeat, do that over and over again. But it's not where I should be spending my days. I was spending a lot of hours doing that, and I was spending a lot of hours doing things that could be done with technology, could be done with systems, could be done with automation, could be done with things that allow me to leverage myself. They weren't the highest and best use of my time because they were things that I could leverage in other ways, through technology, through systems, through processes, through other people, whatever it is. So that's all going fine and good. Now, my personal crap that I was kind of going through, and I don't exactly know how to explain it. Years and years ago, and I don't think I've really talked about this publicly too much, but, I dealt with some anxiety attacks like 10, 15 years ago, like really bad ones, like debilitating anxiety attacks, which would put me in the hospital. And I only had a couple of them that went to that effect. I think maybe a third one I went and knew what was going on, and it's been a long time since I've had them, but I think they have some occasional lingering effects and just kind of mood swings and changes and things like that. And there was a period there where I think amidst all the confusion, all the pressure and everything I was doing and everything I was putting on myself, I just got really, really down. And it was hard, and it was hard to push through. I've got all these things I'm doing. I've got a wife. I've got 3 kids. We've got sports like crazy. My daughter's in traveling hockey. My son's in traveling baseball. I'm a coach on his team. My other son, who's 4, for some reason is not for some reason. I mean, I know why, because we signed him up for stuff, but he's in skating lessons and he's in other things. And it was becoming just too much. And I think I had my own little like mental breakdown. I needed a little bit of time to just regroup, get myself centered, meditate, do whatever. I went and crossed something off my bucket list. I went real life rock climbing with ropes and harnesses and hanging on by the tips of my fingernails, and that was an absolute blast. I did some stuff like that. I don't know. I had to disconnect, and I had to give myself that space. Now, at the same time, if you've been listening to this All In for 90 run that I was going on, I didn't stop doing things. I just all of a sudden, like, I couldn't pick myself up to record the podcast in the evenings. Like, I was just so down and so exhausted by the end of the days, and then I eventually got so far behind, I just didn't come back to it. But, so I was doing things, and somewhere in there, what do they say? When practice and skill are prepared. I can't think of the phrase, but somewhere in there you create your own luck, right? And I had that saying down earlier. I was actually going to title the podcast that. Oh, well, whatever. But anyways, somewhere in there we create our own luck. And somewhere in there the gods were looking down at me, and some things happened. I was introduced to another affiliate program. I mean, I'm a part of a bunch of affiliate programs. I get pitched affiliate programs, network marketing companies on the regular because we have an audience, and I've got people that watch the things that we do. We've got a good email list, things like that. Like, it just happens. It happens on a regular basis. When you're out there as an authority in network marketing, you get pitched a lot of stuff. And this particular one, and I won't talk about what it is on this podcast necessarily, but it was interesting. And my friend who I trusted, who brought me into it, we've done some network marketing things together in the past, he brought it to me, and he's like, you got to do this. You got to get in on this. This thing's amazing. And he was telling me all about it. And to tell you the truth, I did not understand it at all. And yeah, I was about to go into some of the details of it. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, we'll just say I didn't understand it. I couldn't figure out the comp plan. I didn't know anything about how it actually worked. I can usually dissect a comp plan in 5 to 10 minutes. Most comp plans get relatively confusing, whether there's binaries, there's leadership pools, there's unit levels, there's matching bonuses, there's cycle pay, 1/3, 2/3, 3 left, 3 right, whatever. Like, I can usually dissect a comp plan in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. Just about any. This one I was looking at, I stared at it. It literally, I mean, I just finally started understanding it weeks later. But anyways, long story short, I was like, I trust my friend, and we're always telling people, like, hey, we want our friends and family to trust us when we have things that we're excited about, right? And I do trust my friend. And he was telling me about it, and it was in a space that he knows a lot about, a lot more than I know. Like I said, I knew nothing. So what he ended up doing was he did me a favor and said, you know what, I'll buy your first order. If things work, you make a little money, then you can pay me back. And I was like, all right, whatever. Let's just do it. It wasn't that much money. I think it was like $700-800. So I did it, and he paid for it, actually. He paid for it. So, like, yeah, of course I did. It wasn't any money. It was $0. So I did it, and sure enough, few weeks went by, and everything kind of came in, and I saw it, and I started getting it, and I was like, holy crap, we can make a lot of money with this. This looks really, really cool. And I started understanding it. And all of a sudden, I did make money, like a pretty decent amount in relatively short order. And then something happened where I had another friend who's a pretty big influencer in the affiliate space that knew a lot about this topic as well, and knew a lot about this portion of the industry, I guess we'll just call it, since I'm not going into details here about anything. I'm trying not to anyways. And they happened to make a post about, being interested in something to do with something similar to what I was doing, but it wasn't exactly the same company or the way that I was doing it. And I knew nothing about it. Very, very little. But I said, hey, like, I think what you want is kind of like what I have here. Why don't you take a look at this and give me your thoughts? I know you know a lot more about this space than I do. And they did that, and they're like, holy crap, this is amazing. And I kid you not, like, so they were like, do you have a link I can sign up with? I'm like, I think I do. And I found my link and I sent it off to them, my affiliate link. Um, Within a matter of like 48 hours, they sold hundreds of the product. They sold hundreds of them. They were 102 wide within like days, and they had sold quite a few, hundreds, because you can buy more than one. I bought two with that 7-800 that my buddy spotted me for, and all of a sudden I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy crap. Just like that, because of the networks that I built, the relationships that I created, and being in the right place at the right time, which will happen if you do enough business and you keep doing the things and you wake up every single day and you show up and you put your best foot out there. I'm like, just like that. And I'm looking at the comp plan and I'm looking at what we're putting out there and I'm like, I think I just like sent off my link to somebody and I think I'm guessing a little bit because it's pretty hard to project that far out and it'll take a little while for everything to start ramping up, but I'm pretty sure, that's a low 5-figure monthly income that just showed up. So just in like that one fell swoop, as hard as I was working at all the All-In for 90 stuff and as confused as I was about some of the direction that I was going because companies were switching and I wasn't sure and I'm like, you know what, I'll just sell the software and I'll do that. Somewhere in the midst of doing that and staying consistent, doing things every single day, even though I fell off the podcast for a little while there, it just all happened and it clicked just like that fast. And I hit every single goal I was shooting for in the All-In for 90. My goals are a lot bigger than they were when that started. When I started the All-In for 90, my goal was that through the course of this 90 days, I'm taking a brand new business from scratch and I'm going to turn it into a 6-figure annual recurring business that is a business where I'm not doing anything anymore through recruiting, through downlines, through whatever. I was going to build it. I was going to build that recurring revenue stream. So Networker Pro is great because it's recurring revenue. Anybody here who's a part of it, it's, sometimes we have a setup fee, sometimes we don't. Depends how much we do for customers in the beginning or clients in the beginning, whether we're doing the LinkedIn stuff. And then it's got a $97 monthly recurring fee, which is great. You get 100 of those, that's $10,000 a month. So granted, yeah, we have some cost and expenses, but just, for simple math's sake. So just like that, though, my goals changed really, really fast because of what we created that quickly. My goals went from a 6-figure annual income to how do I use this exact same system? How do I go find a couple more of this person and turn this into a $1 million a year business? And frankly, I think I can, which is fun and scary and fun. Really, I think my focuses have changed a little bit and there's still some things that I want to do and there's still some stuff I want to do with the network marketing company and that piece and there is a lot of opportunity there. I believe I have a shorter window on grabbing market share in the newer company, so I'm going to give it some effort, but frankly it's one of the easiest sales I've ever had to make. I sold so I told you what I did originally and what kind of income it turned into. I sold another guy today that's already talking about buying, 100 units himself and whatever. But it's crazy. There's so much opportunity in this world right now. Being in the right place at the right time, being open-minded. I was open-minded when my friend asked me who I trusted, who said, I've got something you got to see, and it's about this stuff, and it's in a space that he knew. I knew he was an expert, and I trusted him. And to tell you the truth, it's just completely changed the game. And it's not going to take away from any of the stuff that I was doing. We're still running Networker Pro. We're still signing up LinkedIn clients. We're still working on the automation. And we're still going to build that agency side for the network marketers because that's something I know that we can do for a long, long, long time. I am also... I've got a network marketing opportunity that I really like and that I'm excited about. But it was one that is part of all that whole company switchover stuff that I was talking about earlier in this podcast that was finally in a place where I could go build it. And it makes sense now. The transition from the company going bankrupt to the other company, it's all kind of done. And there's a lot of things that I can do with that there now. So, but at the same time, I know it's a very stable company that's going to be there for a long time. So I'm not exactly worried about making sure I get that thing built in the next 1 to 2 months. We've got some good team rolling as it is. At the same time, I think realistically, it's smart for me to spend the next couple 2-3 months and just really hammer home this thing that just made me a crap ton of money in a short amount of time. Which, like I said, it's it's just cool. I don't know. I feel it's newer and anything can happen. It's not network marketing, it's affiliate marketing, but it's very, very similar. I get paid off the production that people that I sign up do. That's, one level affiliates, but I also get parts of their bonuses and things like that they get for the people they sign up. But really, I just get paid off of their production. So it's one level of affiliates. But I mean, I have no doubt, there's no question in my mind that if I can just replicate what I did recently a few times over, that it can be a massive business and it can happen quickly. So I'm excited about that, and I guess we'll see. I don't know. But in the meantime, I need to apologize to everybody that was logging in, downloading the episodes every single day, and I just disappeared. And it was, I'm sorry. I just am. I think it happens. I'm human just like anybody else. I went through just really getting down on myself, getting frustrated, not knowing what direction I was going in, was feeling those, old anxiety issues bubbling again, wasn't sleeping, I just wasn't sleeping. I was fake falling asleep at like 10 or 11 at night. Like I say fake falling asleep because I was trying and I was kind of falling asleep, but by 2 a.m, I was like wide awake and couldn't sleep, and I was stressed, and I was worried about things that weren't even there. It just sucked. And then come nighttime, time to do the podcast, I'm just feeling down in the dumps and just don't feel like it. And it was hard. And so, my apologies to everybody, but this is real life stuff here. But at the same time, I kept doing the work every single day. I've got a business coach that I talk to every single week, who's basically like a therapist as well. And talking to her, I'm really hard on myself. I'm really hard on myself for the expectations that I have for me, and I need to give myself some grace sometimes. I do this consistently, it seems like, but there's one unique character trait that I have that even though I was missing out on the podcast, even when I'm feeling down, even when things seem a little bit more difficult or whatever, I still wake up and I still do the stuff. As much as it sucks, I still maintain some activity. I still was plodding along, trying to take small baby steps forward every single day, even though I did not feel like it, at all. And in the end, I feel pretty good about it. So anyways, with that being said, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging in there. I hope this episode resonates with some of you. I hope it gives some of you hope for what can be. I hope you keep moving forward every single day with baby steps. And I'm going to get back in here on a regular basis. And I might even reinstitute and finish out the All In for 90 stuff here over the next week or two. I'll come in and I'll start banging out those podcasts because there's good lessons in those every single day as well. So anyways, appreciate you guys. So this is Dan McCabe. You've been listening to the All In Networker podcast. If you ever have any questions for me, pop on over to LinkedIn and shoot me a direct message. I check those myself every single day. Otherwise, hop on over to allinnetworker.com and check out some of the trainings there. All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.